So Google is finally getting some punishment for their new AI search change because now online publishers can choose not to appear in the AI overviews of Google search results in the UK. So Google actually made this change, and the way they made their statement, they made it seem like they did it out of the kindness of their heart, when in reality they are being forced to do so by the UK Competition and Markets Authority. So essentially, you know how when you Google something and that infamous AI overview pops up? Well, usually whenever this is happening, they are actually getting this information from one of the 10 links that pop up below. People who are talking about pizza recipes, for example. Now, in terms of cooking and stuff like that, that's a little bit more subjective. People can make a pizza in different types of ways or different types of pizza in general. But when you look at something like a little bit more objective, like for example, how far is the sun from Earth, right? When they go ahead and look at this information, this is a little bit more of an objective answer, right? There is an actual calculation that you can do to measure the distance between the Earth and the sun. So when the AI overview is popping up over here, they are actually borrowing information from a link below. So for example, as you can see over here, they are actually getting this source from nasascience.gov. Now, if I am Googling this information and I want to know that distance, right? I already got my answer right over here. So why would I go ahead and visit the NASA Science website? Maybe if I wanted to like learn more or something like that, but most people are just going to get their answer and leave. So because Google is essentially hijacking traffic away from those websites, a lot of websites are getting upset because they are seeing huge drops in traffic ever since Google started placing AI summaries at the top of its search results page. If it was like, the 10 links first and then the AI overview is just there if you want it to be there, it wouldn't really be an issue. But because Google is forcing the AI overview down our throats, tons of websites have seen a huge drop in traffic. Keep in mind that a lot of websites out there are actually making their money from people going over to their website, whether it's through ads that are showing up on the sides, whether it's through the amount of clicks that they're getting when people visit. But the click-through rate for searches that have AI overviews is apparently about 60 to 70% lower. That is a huge drop for most people, and it seems like the UK publishers seem to have enough of it. So in a blog published on Wednesday, Google said it is testing new features allowing website owners to take their sites out of AI search. These features will be trialed in the UK first before rolling out globally. Google added it was engaging with regulators to, quote, ensure website owners have the right tools as user preferences evolve. Sites that opt out will not receive traffic or impressions from its generative AI results. But Google noted that withdrawing from AI search features would not affect how they are ranked in the main search results. The CMA said Google must properly attribute publishers' content which appears in its AI search results with clear links to their sites. Will Hader, the CMA's executive director, said that it is important for people to trust what they are reading, and that's a big point with Google's AI overviews. Because the AI overviews make mistakes all the time, which we have, frequently gone over on this channel, it is really tough to understand and see if the search that you're looking up that pops up with the AI overview is even accurate or not. Is Google making a mistake? Do they even know how to spell Google? Will they be able to interpret the word disregard? I mean, there's so many questions that you can have with Google's AI overviews. And so as I've mentioned in other videos, imagine you're doing some sort of important research for school or work or whatever, and you really need to make sure you get the most accurate information possible. Despite the fact that Google brags that there are 2.5 billion monthly users for AI overviews, is that information even correct? The CMA chief executive also chimed in and said it is crucial that content publishers, including news organizations, have appropriate bargaining power over how their content is used. She said this was a world first requirement, adding it would result in fair treatment, greater transparency, and meaningful choice for businesses and consumers. So let's get into Google's blog post. And again, like I said earlier, they framed it as if they were kind of like doing this willingly or they're doing this out of the kindness of their heart. But no, they are actually doing this because the UK is essentially forcing them to. With our generative AI features, people are more satisfied with search. I mean, this alone is just hilarious because Google search has gotten more backlash than ever before in their entire 20+ year history. AI overviews now have over 2.5 billion monthly active views, while AI mode has surpassed 1 billion monthly users. So I do find this statistic that they keep bringing up pretty interesting, because when you say that AI overview has 2.5 billion monthly active users, I mean, do we even have a choice? We don't have a choice, right? You don't let us opt out of AI overviews, right? Unless people like know the nuanced things to do, like type in -AI or something like that. But with that type of stuff, right, you have to be in the know and you have to know exactly what to do to avoid the AI overview. Some people are not going to do that, right? They're just going to search up what they want to search, and then the first thing that they read, they're going to go ahead and take that information and leave, right? So when you say 2.5 billion people use this, I mean, what other choice do they have? I mean, if people use Google, the AI overview is going to inevitably come up. So the way that they frame it in their diction over there, it's like they're saying 2.5 billion monthly active users are choosing to do AI overviews, and I really don't think that is the case. So they're talking about how much better Google search has become ever since they've been relying on AI more. We've increased the number of inline links directly within responses and added helpful website previews to encourage people to click through. or you could just pop up the websites to begin with and not have your AI overviews shoved down our throats. Looking ahead, we're continuing to experiment with a range of new link designs in our AI experiences to make them more useful. Or, I mean, you could just give us the option to opt out of the AI overviews if we want to. Why do you guys not allow us to do this? I mean, we know why, because they want to make money through their AI crap. But I just find it funny how they make things so complicated. Just give us the option to opt out of it and we can all go back to doing normal Google searches like before. So now they're doing the whole new control and insights for website owners. We are also actively listening to feedback from publishers and creators and engaging with regulators like the UK's Competition and Markets Authority to ensure website owners have the right tools as user preferences evolve. Today, we're beginning to test a new control that lets website owners manage how their links and content appear in generative AI search features. Website owners can decide if they want their site to appear in and help ground responses in our generative AI search features like AI overviews, AI mode, or AI overviews in Discover. Sites that opt out will not receive traffic or impressions from our generative AI features. So again, they basically design it in a way where it's like, okay, you can opt out of our AI overviews if you want, but it's actually going to hurt your website. This control would not be used as a ranking signal for search results outside of these generative AI search features. This work builds on our long history of designing tools like snippet controls and Google Extended that give websites more choice. Wish we could have the choice. Us, your Google search users, I wish we could have the choice to just go ahead and opt out of all these AI features to begin with, but Google does not want to give us that said choice. But hey, for those of you guys that actually want to go ahead and Google search without any type of AI involvement, go ahead and watch my video over here called Google Search Without AI, and it actually tells you exactly what you need to do to avoid AI searches on Google. But anyways, yeah, they're going to be slowly rolling out these changes over to the UK first. But again, I just find the way that this blog post is worded pretty funny because they are not really doing this out of the goodness of their heart or because they want to do so out of choice. The UK is essentially forcing them to. The CMA is requiring Google to do this. So the framework of their blog post is funny. They said Google would be required to make sure content from publishers, including news organizations, was properly attributed in AI generated search terms using clear links. And Google has been facing a lot of action throughout the world as well, especially in the United States and the EU, because they're getting regular criticism all around the world. And the company in March said it was developing new search controls to address British competition concerns. But it's just really scummy the way that Google actually frames this, right? Because when people are going ahead and opting out of the AI overviews as a website publisher, it does seem like in the way that Google framed it, that it would actually be hurting them in the long run. Google is still going to be taking all that activity and they're going to be essentially taking people away from those websites and reducing traffic to them. But now if you go ahead and opt out of it, now you're just going to go ahead and get even less traffic according to Google. So the way that they've framed and created their whole system just seems really cannibalistic. Google, a website, is now going to be cannibalizing all these other websites and making it so they can't actually get any sort of traffic because the AI overviews are going to be dominating the search every single time. So what can people do, right? I mean, they can go over to a new search, and that is something that I would highly recommend doing. But the problem is Google has such a stranglehold throughout the world right now in terms of search engines. Even if all the other search engines in the world combined, they wouldn't even come close to the amount of power that Google search has. It's pretty similar to how we always talk about YouTube, right? YouTube, which again is owned by Google, no coincidence there, is another corrupt website that just does not focus on anything other than AI. They shove AI down our throats and everything in YouTube, and we all are always looking for an alternative. But the problem is there's really no alternative to YouTube. Yes, there are alternative websites that exist, but just like Google, YouTube owns the world when it comes to video sharing. Even if you were to combine all those video sharing websites, they still wouldn't come close to the amount of traffic that YouTube brings to the world. So in short, Google is getting a few whippings here and there. I hope they continuously keep getting punished throughout the world, and hopefully more and more people are going away from Google and going over to different search engines. According to all the news sources, DuckDuckGo just keeps blowing up more and more every single day as more and more people are going over to DuckDuckGo and replacing Google. Brave is also getting a ton of traffic as well. I mean, hell, even Bing is getting a bunch of people going on Bing and searching up there. Now, Bing specifically, I wouldn't really recommend because of the whole Microsoft ties there, but DuckDuckGo and Brave search are always going to be good options. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on the situation in the comments. Google search is finally getting a bit of punishment for their AI searches. Hopefully they finally give up one day and just give us that inevitable button that actually allows us to choose whether we want to use AI on Google search or not. Please leave a like in the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more. See ya.